Some people do, if you choose to wave. It's an option. It was around last spring while surfing, while doing some web surfing, that I first noticed the ads that seemed directly related to things I commonly search for. After a little research, I found that companies are now editing their privacy policy and information in order to allow them to digitally monitor your activities and direct their advertisements at you appropriately. While this may not seem like an immediate threat to your privacy or security, it is pushing the envelope or rights of confidentiality and open the door for bills such as CISPA and SOPA, which in turn would have an unknown and lasting effect on our basic liberties. CISPA was originally introduced in November of 2011 and rejected by Congress. It was then reintroduced early this year, giving rise to concern that we may never see the end of these repeated attempts to push through a cybersecurity bill. Officially known as H.R. 3523, the bill is a repeated attempt by Congress of chipping away at our freedoms under the guise of national security, and it is my goal to raise awareness of how it will affect the everyday internet surfer and how to promote anti-legislative activism in order to oppose this and future encroaching legislative threats. So what exactly is CISPA? CISPA's authors' intentions would allow for voluntary information sharing between private companies and the government in the event of a cyber attack. If the government detects a cyber attack that might take down Facebook or Google, for example, they could notify these companies. At the same time, Facebook or Google can inform the government if they notice any unusual activity on their networks that might suggest a cyber attack. Some argue that it's necessary to protect our citizens from cyber attacks from foreign enemies in other countries. But others would argue that it would allow them to hand over users' private information and the government due to vague loopholes in the bill. According to an article on CNET.com, CISPA would formally grant the NSA or Homeland Security any additional surveillance authority, but it would usher in a new era of information sharing between companies and government agencies with limited oversight and privacy safeguards. The controversy lies within the section that says, notwithstanding any other provision of law. Companies may share information with any other entity, including the federal government. It doesn't, however, require them to do so. By including the words notwithstanding, they intend to make CISPA trump all existing federal and state civil and criminal laws. Next, let's take a look at how will this affect you, the everyday internet junkie. The real problem is that the bill is so vague overall that it leaves little room for oversight of the companies who would essentially collect and use cyber intelligence information in whatever manner they please. Have you ever visited an anti-patriotic website, even on accident? Accidents happen every day where someone is taken to a website they didn't intend to go to. No worries, just delete your history. No one's the wiser, right? Wrong. This bill allows your internet service provider, ISP, such as Cable One or CenturyLink, or even your phone companies, such as Verizon or AT&T, to not only monitor, but share any website or online activity in which you may be involved. Even if it's actually your perverted uncle watching an adult film, your name is the one on the bill, thus you are by default the perpetrator. On top of all that, they would have immunity from being indicted on the grounds of violating our Fourth Amendment right by sharing private information. So to summarize, why should we be concerned about CISPA? CISPAsback.com lists 5 reasons that are the main concerns. It lets the government spy on you without a warrant. It makes it so you can't even find out if you have been spied on. It prevents those companies from being sued when they take illegal action with your information. It allows corporations to cyber attack each other and individuals outside of the law. It makes privacy policy on the web a moot point and violates the Fourth Amendment. Finally, I would like to arm you with some potential actions to take against the new war on information. There are obviously many outlets for making your voice heard around the web, but these tools only work if people are getting involved. Electronic petitions have revolutionized the way we oppose legislation and government decisions, allowing us to put petition bills on a website and obtain a large number of petition signatures in a record period of time. Many of these petition sites exist on the web. All you have to do is look around. Petitions are far from our only option, however. Fightforthefuture.org have set up software that automatically searches for your congressperson's phone number by area code. Calling Congress directly is probably the most effective form of activism you can accomplish. They say one call is worth 100 signatures. Finally, raise the awareness of those around you to the potential of all these threats, making sure to spread the word and blow the whistle on these unconstitutional forms of legislation. Our ability to communicate on a mass scale through the internet and social networking is precisely why it has become so valuable to us, while being such a threat to our government, and why it's so important to protect those privileges before it's too late. In conclusion, we've learned from history that a lack of involvement and awareness in government meddling can lead to serious and irreversible repercussions, not unlike those in the Patriot Act, which completely strips all of Americans and people worldwide right to habeas corpus, as well as having many other undesirable results. Once again, CISPA fortunately has failed passing through Congress as of the 28th of April due to lack of support by Senator J. Rockefeller, who holds substantial sway in the Senate, and claimed that the bill lacked privacy protections. According to webpronews.com, just when you thought that maybe this thing was dead, a member of Senator Rockefeller's committee said, "Issues and provisions of CISPA will be divvied up and made into separate bills. This means many dangerous pieces of the bill may slip through the cracks of Congress, and as so many have done before." Representative Jared Pullis said it best during the debate when pointing out that CISPA would waive every single privacy law ever enacted in the name of cybersecurity. Allowing the military and NSA to spy on Americans on American soil goes against every principle this country was founded upon.
That was good.
Yay!
I can scan all of this again.
Yay.
That was really good.